Hey everybody, welcome to FunnelHacker TV. We are in for another FHL speaker, but this isn't just any FHL speaker. This is the only person besides Russell and Todd who has spoken at every single funnel hacking live ever. And I guess that's not enough because this year he's coming back and he is speaking twice in one of it. So we're going to go ahead and roll the intro and we'll introduce you to him.
We are part of an underground group of entrepreneurs that you've probably never even heard of before. We are funnel hackers, and these are our stories.
What is up, funnel hackers? Welcome to FunnelHacker TV. My name is Ben Moot, and this is...
I'm Susan Leonardson.
We're here to be able to introduce all the funnel hacking live speaker. Here's the crazy deal. If you guys did not know, this morning we dropped a free giveaway for a funnel hacking live ticket. So if you already have a ticket, you want to get it comped and you want to have a VIP experience with a whole bunch of swag. It's madness. All that's going on with this giveaway, go to clickfunnels.com/giveaway and you can get all the details there. It's glorious. Okay, so that's clickfunnels.com/giveaway. Go and do that. And if you have a ticket, don't worry about it. You will be comped. If you win, it'll be good to go. If you do not have a ticket yet, don't let that stop.
Don't let that stop you. I'm pretty sure is what he was about to say. Yes, guys, go to clickfunnels.com/giveaway. Like, okay, so if you already bought your ticket, awesome. You guys have all of the bonuses that are coming to you. If you don't have your ticket, you need to get your ticket because actually bonuses are going to start disappearing. Either way, you need to go join the giveaway thing so that you can get it for free. Who wants it for free, right?
Absolutely.
Ben's back. We're ready.
Thank you. Starlink Internet is beautiful. I absolutely love it. All right, so here's the deal. We need to talk about today's speaker because today's speaker, Russell may or may not have written a book about this individual and given it to him. You guys get a preview of that. You get to be able to hear from him. If you do not know who it is, this individual has spoken every single time at Funnel Hacking Live. I remember the time when he flipped the chair and wore the Phantom mask. Does anybody remember that? I'll always remember the time when he came out in pure white. Like there are these moments, there are these years in which I always remember the Funnel Hacking Live by the presentation this man gives. And we are ridiculously excited to be able to bring him onto the Funnel Hacker TV stage. Let's welcome Garrett J White. How are you, sir?
I'm excited to be here. Thank you very much for taking the time. Thanks for inviting me back. Every year I tell Russell, I'm like, hey, I could have been the last year. I don't know if you guys are going to have me back. It was pretty intense again. And every year it keeps coming back. And the thank you to the last time was he actually wrote a book with me and him together called Have It All as an honor to the journey that has been the first 7 years of my evolution and the evolution of Warrior and the evolution of what funnel hacking has become and what ClickFunnels have become. So very excited to be back here for year number 9. I'm the last one he ever tells I'm speaking to. Like the whole lineup's done, everybody's out, and people are asking me to speak, and I was like, I don't know. And then Russell pulled this. Well, dude, I thought you just knew. I was like, oh, okay. So here we are again, year number 9.
Just mark it in your calendar every year. You're just in.
Exactly.
Yeah. So really quick, everybody should know who you are, but if they do not yet, can you introduce the idea of Warrior, like what you built, the movement you're calling that you feel called to do and that you have taken upon yourself? Because it's a story that I absolutely love hearing every single time.
You got it. So I launched Wake Up Warrior in 2012. This was before ClickFunnels. And at the time I was using Kajabi, I was using Lead Pages, and I was using a series of other Infusionsoft at the time, which became Keep. Everybody's big joke of Confusionsoft. So I was part of that generation of software tool users. I only cared about software and its support to be able to launch the thing I felt God had put on my heart, which was to wake men up. Now, the only reason I was interested in waking men up is because I had experienced what it was like to be a successful entrepreneur for a decade in banking and insurance and real estate. In 2008, I got taken out, not because of the industry or the market, but because of my inabilities as an entrepreneur to lead and guide a team. So we let 100 people go, including every family member I knew that worked for me on both sides of the family. And I walked in this really dark place for 3 years. An affair, deep in addictions, tons of chaos and problems. In fact, my wife stayed with me. It was just miraculous, to say the least. And inside that place, I found probably the darkest place I'd ever been to in my life. And that place, there was this voice that activated me and asked me one simple question: have you had enough? And that one question, have you had enough, sparked another question. And that question was, if you say if I lead you to these stages, will you say what I need you to say? And I didn't know what that was, but I knew that my life was not working. I agreed to the terms of this unspoken contract with this voice I didn't understand that seemed to come from inside of me. And I went to war, trying to put my life back together, and it worked. And I built a game for myself that I play every day in the journal, and it helped me coordinate my whole life. I figured there had to be a way to do life that's like running a funnel, which is optics, analytics, leads, conversions, sales. I just didn't know how to do that with my body necessarily. I didn't know how to do that with my relationship, my balance, with my wife, and my kids. I didn't know how to do that with God. So I built the game. It worked. I shared it with a bunch of other guys. It worked for them. Guys like Sean Whalen and Lions Not Sheep, Ryan Stewman, hardcore closer, Fatima Ghali, who'll be one of the speakers this year, who went on to launch Man Wealth. All these guys were guys that trained under me in the beginning, learning this methodology as a man to have it all. So fast forward to ClickFunnels rolling out. We're having momentum and success. And my funnels, we moved over to ClickFunnels. I was like user number 132 or something like this. Back before anyone even knew who ClickFunnels was, I was like, hey, this looks like the place. And one of my clients came to me and said, you should use this ClickFunnels. I was like, dude, I'm so tired of software. I don't want to do software. I want to do leading men. That's what I want to do. They're like, yeah, but dude, you're using all these tools. It's confusing. Why don't you use ClickFunnels? So I tried it. Went in one afternoon, like many of you now. I was using the archaic, this was like 92 versions ago, and it was still way better than anything else existed. And that afternoon, I made a decision. I dumped all my other software. We jumped 100% into ClickFunnels, and I began launching my high-ticket funnels with Warrior Week, which are programs at Warrior, on the ClickFunnels platform. It got Russell's attention. I was invited to come speak and share how we were doing what we were doing on the platform at ClickFunnels #1 in Vegas. And fast forward now a decade, and we've helped over 55,000 men play a simple daily, weekly, monthly game called The Warrior's Way to help them guide themselves with the power of God to have it all and ultimately become free men. And that was where it all began. That's what I do today. We're obviously a lot bigger now than we were 10 years ago. Still in love with ClickFunnels and the tools and what it's done for me, mostly because it let me do what I was called to do and not have me fucking around with software. And that's why I've been such a big supporter of ClickFunnels, because of the ease in which Russell not only teaches, but also the ease in which the tool is. And that means that if you're watching or asking yourself, well, the tool still feels complicated, well, that's because you're not smart enough yet. It doesn't mean you can't be smart enough. It just means you got to be committed. And part of getting committed is getting into live environments. So Warrior, we have digital environments, we have software, we have curriculum, we have core work that people can do on their own, but nothing will ever compete with the awakening that happens for an entrepreneur at Funnel Hacking Live. And I'm excited to bring the whole family this year. So it'll be the first year we brought the whole family.
Oh, that's exciting.
Yeah.
So you mentioned, okay, you've been there from the beginning. You got invited to Funnel Hacking Live 1, and now we're on 9. And you've been there every single one. So why do you keep coming back? What draws you back into Funnel Hacking Live year after year, and you're happy to show up? And this year twice.
I would say there are a couple of things, 3 specifically. One is I really feel God's called me to be here. So that's the one piece. I really feel at some level there are hundreds, if not thousands of people every year at Funnel Hacking Live whose entire worlds and realities pivot. Maybe they become part of Warrior, maybe they don't. But the energy of what God brings through me on the stage pivots individuals different every single year. I don't have a plan coming in until about the day before. I have ideas, but then God will say, based upon where the event's at, here's where I want you to go with this. And so there's some of you there, you're coming for one reason, my presentations. That's it. Everything else you hear will be amazing. You'll join and move forward in programs with Russell, but it will be the fire and the frame in which I share what I share that will give you the courage to do what I did back in 2012, which is to launch. You're one funnel away, but only if you launch. If you don't launch, it doesn't matter. You're still going to be sitting with software and a subscription that has you question every 3 months, why am I paying for this? So that's reason number 1. Reason number 2 is because I love Russell, right? I'll forever be grateful. He was the one that converted my wife to see the world through direct response marketing. It wasn't me. I wasn't her coach in marketing. It was Russell. We were sitting in Mexico. Years ago, I had the publisher's edition of .com Secrets. Russell had given me a copy, and my wife had read one other book that I knew of besides that book, and that was 50 Shades of Grey. You know, big win for her, a big win for me. She got all kinds of sexually excited reading that book. That was one. And then I'm sitting there by the pool and my wife is reading for 3 straight days, .com secrets. And I'm watching Russell's ability to articulate the simple, necessary truth of marketing and movement building. And I'm watching my wife be converted. She goes on to launch DKW Styling, Big Money Stylist, Natural Beat of Rose, builds a massive movement, 8-figure brand in the hair industry, following the principles that Russell has been teaching. So his impact on me personally with what we do with Warrior, his impact on my wife has impacted directly nearly 100,000 people, indirectly millions of people. So gratitude from my heart that. Third piece is because there are certain angles in the way I see ClickFunnels as a platform, but I see your capacity as a movement leader to operate that no one else will share with you from stage. Like there's just no one else will share it. And I feel it's my responsibility because I was you, many of you who might be coming here for the very first time, maybe getting your free ticket, maybe going to Funnel Hacking Live and picking up your paid ticket. Fuck the free ticket. Just get the ticket and get there because being in the room changes. And there is a responsibility in this tribe that when you have received from the tree, that you give back to the tree. God made it real simple. Multiply and replenish the earth, right? Well, this is part of my earth, which is Funnel Hacking Community. Part of this is me giving back. I don't get paid to come speak. It's the only speaking gig I take every year. I say no to just about 99% of anything else that comes out on the table because of that responsibility. So very excited for the 2 presentations this year.
Now, as far as the 2 presentations, this is the first time Russell's actually had somebody do this. I remember he came back from Mastermind in Paradise in Mexico, and he was just on fire in the office. Like, you wouldn't believe, like, Garrett talked about this thing, and I probably nagged him the entire time because, oh my gosh. And he's like, we can implement this. And we're in the process right now of implementing this. I'm like overseeing the workbooks right now, making sure things are going well. We're recording the trainings, making it all happen. There's things happening behind the scenes that I cannot wait for you all to see what in the world it is. But can you explain what this idea was that kind of set Russell on fire? That's the first piece of what you get to present Funnel Hacking Live this year, which is a little different than what you've done in the past.
It's the first time I'm going to get to train on business.
Yeah.
All right. So most time I come last day and you got Ed Mylett, Tony Robbins, myself, and who I've got Jocko. We got whoever is going that down, blow some fire. And then I come in and I just burn the building down. Well, there's a side of me that's very analytical and business driven. That's the only way this works, right? You have to have the fire of a movement leader, but you also have to have the mind of a business owner. And that's why the quote on the book, Have It All, and something I said in an interview years ago here at ClickFunnels after I spoke was, the marriage you want, the family you want, the life you want will be fueled by the business that you build. Many of you are struggling in your entire world because you will not dominate in business. And part of learning how to commit to dominate in the money game is having insight, which is what you're going to get from all the speakers of Funnel Hacking Live. You're getting the best of the best show up and not just give you testimonials. Those are important. Some of you just need to hear some people say, hey, it's possible. You can do this. And that's enough to give you permission to finally go change the legacy of your family forever, like getting the ticket right now that you're still avoiding. You're sitting in the Facebook group. You might even have the software. And you're like, I don't need to go. And you're like, I don't need to go. And yet many of you know there's a nagging inside that says, I should have got my VIP ticket, but those are gone. So I at least need to be in the room, but there's 5,000 people. I'm too far in the back. It doesn't matter. Get in the room. Get in the room. They say this to our guys all the time. Transformation happens at a point of decision, and that journey itself begins with saying, I'm in. I'm in, and there's no back way out. And those people that come to Funnel Hacking Live under that energy, well, now when we start to give you tactics, and we start to show you really simple skills of ways you can play, you can integrate them inside that container fire. So I'm going to talk specifically about how I figured out, I failed for about 8 years trying to pull this off, which was duplicating me. Some of you are sitting there and you've had some success with funnel hacking. You've had some success with launching funnels. You've had some success with selling. And now you're at this pivotal point of like, I'm kind of the brand. And like, how do I make more of me to be able to help more people? And so I tried to take other people and make them mini Garretts, and that didn't work. I tried that for about 5 years, and guys just blew up. There's too much fire, boom, bodies just splatting all over the walls. Not working. Went through 37 different trainers and coaches full-time that worked for me, invested millions of dollars trying to figure this out. I'm going to show you a breakdown system. Listen, there's two things I've done in business, one of which was challenges, and the other one is this. that I personally got Russell on with things we had already figured out at Warrior and said, hey, bro, slide this back door to you there, champ. Try that out. And then Russell did the perfect little excited Ben, you did it. Do the excited Russell thing. Exactly. And then you even did the voice. I was like, that's pretty damn close. That's almost exactly how Russell does it.
Yeah.
So we're Mastermind in Paradise, and I start talking about this facilitator event model. And to me, it was no big deal because we've been doing it for 2 years, which is I run events happening every single week that impact thousands of students every month that I am not personally in attendance to, that they are investing $500 to $1,000 virtually to be part of, to be trained by me, only I'm not there. And here in my studios, I'll have an event happening in one of my studios, another one happening in this studio, and I'll have one happening down the hallway in the training room, and I will be in Paris with my wife for our anniversary. And all of these individuals are getting exponential value. Like, how am I attending a live event that Garrett is in Paris getting too many pictures by the Eiffel Tower with his wife for their 20th anniversary? I'll tell you why I do the pictures, because my wife likes them. How is he doing that? Well, that's what I'm going to share. So first presentation, I'm going to break down the exact model that I use to run multiple events virtually every single week without me being in attendance, and have people pay top dollar to invest in attending those virtually and not only be grateful, but many of them get through the whole event. They don't even know I wasn't even there, even though we tell them, Garrett's not here live. They're like, that's crazy. It was like he was live. There's a new world that's opened up with Zoom technology and the way that we do things that has us very comfortable in a virtual environment. And you're going to find out real quick, as a model I'll share, you have a way to duplicate yourself that doesn't come down to the headaches of stress and the frustration of trying to turn other people into you. That's first presentation.
That's exciting.
I know Russell's freaking out about it right now. Like, we've been trying to figure out how to make one thing this, and then the next thing, and the next thing. He's like, we're going to do this 7 times across all these different. I'm like, whoa, he's all fire. He's all ready to go. He's freaking out.
Oh man.
But one last comment on that. One of the funnest parts about it that we were not expecting was the fact that because of the way it's built, it's predictable in its energetic and result-driven value to the students, and is not dependent upon me constantly being lit on fire, which allowed me as the business owner to have space to have it all and experience that as a father, and at the same time allow us to continue to push the movement and empower thousands of other people. So this is going to be this one segment. If you just came for that, which I think is happening day 2, just that one segment alone, there are many of you are going to hear this presentation. You're going to hear, I'm going to show you exactly what we're doing. Exactly. You're going to find out real quickly why Russell's so pumped.
Yeah. Okay. So I can tell your demeanor has changed and it's like you're growing. You're at this place where things are now going in this different direction. I've seen you year after year go from each level that they have. Russell put on the cover where he's got every single year that Garrett was on stage, and the process and the growth that you went through. What is settling on you if you have a preview or an idea of what's coming on the last day and what fire it is that's kind of coming to you at this time for Funnel Hacking Live? Is there an idea or an inkling of what it is that you're going to be presenting on then? I don't want to know everything, but
not gonna tell him everything because it's always a surprise. Russell doesn't even know. He sits in the front row and he almost wets himself every year. He's like, "Where is this going?" He came back when we ran the all-white worship session. He was like, yes. Dude, I'm gonna probably get as many complaints about this as the time you were cussing and throwing chairs. I was like, well, hey, you only get one promise with me, which is Russell sit in the front row with Todd and your wives and just get ready because I'm gonna deliver a show. So this year is gonna be no different. Only this has gone into a lot of planning, and I'll share it into the following. When I first started going live and being real on the internet, just saying, here's who I am. Take me or leave me. Here's who I am. I don't need to be your friend. Just take me or leave me. If you want in, great. Here's who I am. If you don't, no harm, no foul. There's 8 billion people. Go find your guy. Go find your gal. Off you go. So I started doing this, and that set a trend. And so more and more men and women started being vulnerably transparent online, which is a very huge tactic. And this was before it was cool to be authentic. And then it became a trend where if you weren't authentic online, it was like kind of weird that you weren't. People expected to see it with live streaming. It came out in 2016, all of a sudden Periscope and live stream. Now we got to see more realness. But back in 2012, 13, 14, 15, this was not the case. So I was a trendsetter on the front end of that. Then I came in 2015 and said, in 2016, I'm going to put my wife on stage. So guys were like, well, yeah, dude, we never hear from your wife, bro. How do we know you're not lying? I was like, okay, cool. Well, how about you talk to my wife? And so I put my wife unfiltered up on stage. She started speaking and training with me together. We launched Date Your Wife, the podcast. And so now we set this new trend. Nobody was doing this. There were no couples we knew that were doing podcasts. There were no couples on stages training. It was like the dude and his wife in the audience, or the girl and her husband in the audience, never together. So we were the first couples we knew, and we started another trend, couple podcasts. Hundreds of them have launched now. Hundreds of couples now training. So we have a reality show that actually drops today, our first episode today, called The Real White House.
That's what I've been
And
seeing. My email's been blowing up.
The actual one drops tomorrow. Today's not the 21st. We're dropping on our anniversary on the 22nd.
Okay.
And the whole container of this is the following. If you come back to the book, Have It All, the marriage you want, the family you want, the life you want will be fueled by the business that you build. But in the tumultuous times that we're in as human beings, with chaos in politics, chaos in banking, chaos in money, chaos being generated over all kinds of things, pandemics, climate change, whatever. There is one thing that I believe will keep not only our country, but our planet in a trajectory of expansion under God's will. And that is unified marriages and families. You want to tear apart people, you tear apart marriages. You want to tear apart marriages, you automatically tear apart families. Now, I'm a divorced man. I was almost divorced 2 other times with Danielle, so I understand that divorce happens. We're in a world that it happens. But what we're going to present is I'm going to push all my chips on the table again. And I'm going to be the first one to bring the full power of my full family, including my nannies and teachers who work our homeschooling programs. And we're going to show you, not tell you, what a unified family on the front line looks like. And I do this because I've watched my own evolution as a man, then as a couple, and the last 2 years, as God came into my life in a big way, my double down commitment to my children, which had me pull my kids out of school, homeschool my children. We built protocols and systems for how we operate that. I have tons of entrepreneurs that duplicate our homeschooling models now. And we wanted to bring an experience with my family. So you're going to get a taste of what a unified funnel hacker family looks like. My son's an entrepreneur, runs his own business. My daughter's pursuing her music career. My 3 younger daughters that we homeschool. My wife who runs her powerhouse, and then the teams who work full-time with me and my wife and our children to help support, love, and guide and correct them, help put us together. So we have an amazing presentation ready, but you're going to get to hear from multiple voices. There'll be some singing. There might be some, the hills are alive with the sound of music. No, I'm just like, we're not going to sing that song. But it's going to be different. And what I really am excited about for it is you guys get to see single men, married men, single women, married women speaking individually on stage. Occasionally you get to hear a couple, but most of you are here fighting for your families. And God's fighting for you to fight for your families. And we're going to show you what the fruit of a decade of work produces. As a father with a son, 4 beautiful daughters. And in the end, after pursuing all of the wealth and getting it, 2 8-figure brands at the end, recognizing that the greatest leadership I could offer was to my children. And I'm proud of what we've done and who they've become. And I abandoned my son for 10 years. And I was a horrible father to my older 2 daughters when they were little. And alcohol had a hold of me, and I was not a good man. And I've worked for the last decade with one purpose, to fulfill God's purpose in my life, and at the same time to take care of the most important people in my world. And so I want you to hear from them. I don't want you to trust my words. I have a long time ago stopped telling people what I'm doing. I just show people what we've done. And I want you to see what's possible in this community if you will just commit to yourself. Because in the end, the funnels don't matter. The money doesn't matter if in the end you build it all and you lose everything. And so we hope to be able to show you a model that we use as a family that's inspired the reality show that's launching. and for the real White House, and help you see as patriots, as men and women of God, and as a family, how we've been able to do the funnel hacking life as a family, not just as an individual man trying to wage war with the game of money in order to set my family free. And there are many of you in the community now, being in this presentation and being with my family, you're going to see your marriage and your kids from a different frame. And you're going to leave with something you didn't know you were coming for. Because you're going to leave with the fire that you need to finally do what is required. Because it doesn't come without work. And that's why getting your ticket matters. That's why you being in the room matters. And that's why you being in the energy and the vibration of that whole room and its connection. What Russell and Todd have invested millions of dollars. They don't have to do this event. They could be just fine continuing to sell. This event, if anything, is a pain in the ass. From a logistics standpoint, it is a nightmare. But from a spiritual standpoint, it is the annual opportunity to celebrate those who have woken and to invite others who are still sleeping to wake the fuck up. So I'm excited for both presentations, to get to be a business mind with you, and also to get to be a soul guide with you, to be able to show you some things that are possible here by using the tools of ClickFunnels.
You guys have to go get your tickets. FunnelHackingLive.com. They will sell out this year. You have to go get it now. Even if you're like, oh, I want to do the thing and get it for free. Only one person is getting that free ticket, right? So go get your ticket, purchase it, and maybe you'll get it for free. Maybe you'll get it comped. Look at all of those speakers. Plus, we have a concert to wrap it all up. Early access is all sold out. General admission is still available. It sells out every year. You need to go get your ticket now. FunnelHackingLive.com. Ben, do you want to do the rundown of the stack?
Absolutely, would love to. Here's the deal, guys. Whether you're in that moment where it's time for you to wage war, or you're in those moments where it's time for you to have it all, even though you built the business and you're now trying to transition, what you're going to get from Funnel Hacking Live this year is not just the 4-day transformational event. That you cannot put a value on. You're not just going to get a whole bunch of swag, because yes, we love to give you a whole bunch of swag. We're not just going to give you AI instead of ClickFunnels. We're not just going to give you a whole bunch of bonuses. The inner circle all came out and said, Russell, we believe in the journey that you are building and the things that you are creating, the lives you are changing. We just want to give this to people who get a ticket to Funnel Hacking Live. You're not just getting all the replays from Funnel Hacking Live every single year. The goal of Funnel Hacking Live is to change your life and your business in order to be able to let you have it all. And Garrett's message is key to this. And having your ticket is the choice. It is that choice that you need to make today. It's not the, well, maybe, what if I could? And every minute that you put it off is the minute that you are letting your future self down. You have a calling. And it is aching. It's in there. Some of you already know what it is. And you're like, I just don't know if I'm going to go this year. You know you need to be there. And if you have felt anything during this call, if you've had that realization that, you know what, sometimes everybody's bringing it all, I want to be a part of that. I want to feel that again. If you want that fire, Funnel Hacking Live is the only place you can get it, where it will expand and ignite and change your life for the entire year. And you will look back on your years the same way that we get to look back at every year Garrett has spoken and be able to see your life change year after year. 2023 was the year that you made the decision. 2024 is the year that you get to be able to ignite and change everyone's life. 2025 was the year where you got to stand on stage and be able to state, this is the year that my life is more about giving than it is about receiving. If you want to keep that change happening in your life, Funnel Hacking Live is the place to be. You need to grab your ticket. Garrett, is there anything that we've missed, brother?
I got one bonus for you guys too. I give it out when I, like every year at this time. It's a special, we have an updated version of it too that we'll send over, called Strategic Seduction. And it's how I train thousands and thousands of my hairstylists and all my male entrepreneurs on the psychology required to understand funnels. And it's why our students integrate so quickly with the ClickFunnels platform. It's why they get to results so fast, not because people are doing it for them necessarily, although that's great. It's the ability to think through it. So the biggest challenge that you face with funnels is not going to come down to the simplicity of the funnels or the complexity that you think exists. It's going to come down to the fact that your brain does not think through sequential seduction. And so this simple course that I've created is how we guide everybody from billion-dollar publicly traded companies that I'm working with and they're getting into funnels, to working with individuals who are startups on their very first company, their very first offers to the marketplace. We start them with the basics and move them across the 6 stages of strategic seduction. Russell loves it. It's a program that I know can support you, and you can get started with it immediately today by picking your ticket up and get into it, get into that place, and also understand that the commitment to transform and the commitment to build the business that will fuel your life, it doesn't begin at Funnel Hacking Live. It begins with a decision today. And getting your ticket today is that decision. The boldness of that will open up all the bonuses. You'll be able to move forward and getting yourself mentally, emotionally, spiritually prepared, get your tickets booked, get your hotel booked, get your commitments with your money on the table, because you're all going to be in a place where we're going to be expecting it from other people. You're going to be demanding it from the marketplace. And that means that demand must start with you. We can't lead unless we've learned how to follow. Learning how to follow is your opportunity to lead yourself today. Following me, the rest of the trainers, and the rest of the teams here at ClickFunnels to the Funnel Hacking Live stage and experience, this will be one of those moments for many of you that you will look back on a decade from now and say, do you remember that Zoom that came in the Facebook group? I can't imagine where my marriage, my family, my business, and my legacy would be had I said no that day. So no more excuses. Get your ass to the link, funnelhackinglive.com. Get your ticket today. Don't care how long you've been in the community. Many of you have been distant for too long, and you have become numb and dumb, and you don't even realize it because you're so far away from the fire. You think that it makes sense to hold 2 ice blocks over your nipples and shiver. Knock that shit off. Get your ticket. Get live next to the fire. Get as close to the front as you can. VIP is taken. This event will sell out. It sells out every year. It's going to sell out this year. Just like the people reaching out to me, can you get me VIP tickets? I said, I cannot, because you procrastinated. You didn't have any oil in your lamp and the bridegroom showed up. Don't be the rest of them. Get your oil in the lamp. Get your ticket. Go to funnelhackinglive.com. And I don't know what he's doing with this book. We're giving it out yet. I don't know what we're doing with it yet. So it's here. It's awesome. You may get it. You might not. Or you may just look at it while I'm leaning on. Either way, I'll be with you live at Funnel Hacking Live this year, as well as the rest of the crew. Look forward to having you.
Awesome. Thank you so much for being here, Garrett. Everyone else, funnelhackinglive.com. We'll see you guys next time.
There are so many people walking around who don't know that they can change the world.
You were born to do something great with your life. As an entrepreneur, you're going to have painful experiences, but all pain is temporary. And if you can survive it, you will meet another version of yourself.
I was just numb. We were racking up credit cards. We stopped paying for our house. We literally were selling furniture out of our home.
I felt trapped and exhausted by my life, and I couldn't see a way out.
I felt like a shell of who I was made to be.
In life, you are most capable of helping the person you used to be. If you used to be broke, you can help broke people. If you used to be broken, you can help broken people.
It starts with you. You hear the call. You feel it. It's beating, it's pulsing. I'm made for something more.
We get scared.
And then fear hits us.
The little voices in the back of our head.
I'm not ready. I'm not worthy. The driven say, no, I'm going to do it. The driven are you guys here today.
More people are finding their breaking point and waking up.
I have a calling. Yesterday I realized I have to do this.
There's a soul here at ClickFunnels.
I felt like I had gone through the wardrobe of the Chronicles of Narnia, and I was just like, what is this magical place that makes billionaires?
I'm going to show you the magic trick that's made me all of my money.
My best-selling framework.
You have to start out closing if you're going to end up closing.
82% of customers trust influencers.
This better blow your mind and allow you to predict the future.
People need aliveness and meaning again.
Who do you want to become? What do you want to felt and experience in this one precious life?
You wouldn't be able to tell, but I ran the New York Marathon when I was 19. Life happened and my mom passed away. One of my daughters had a traumatic brain injury, wasn't expected to live.
When you meet somebody that continues to push through adversity, that is the definition of an entrepreneur. Here's what we're going to do. I'm going to sponsor you through this journey because everybody deserves an opportunity. What you do with it is up to you.
feel a sense of belonging here.
It feels like home. It's so encouraging because if they can do it, so can I.
It starts with saying, hey, next year we're going to get that.
Russell has a way of teaching that makes success faster.
In my opinion, he's the best marketer who ever lived.
You find exactly what your business is missing.
It's going to amplify every campaign you do.
If you've been thinking there has to be a better way to do this than what you're being told, I'm here to tell you you're right.
People might say you're too young or you're too old or your body's not right or you didn't go to the right school. Then one day, they're telling people how they met you.
FunnelHacker Live changed my entire life because now I know what I'm going to do next.
Your family's going to be blessed. Your legacy's going to be blessed. Movements are about to be birthed.
My story hopefully gave women permission.
If you believe me, stand to your feet. You do not have to be great to get started, but you have got to start if you ever want to be great.